that if the Democrats win and they have substantial majorities, Congress of the United States will be more bipartisan.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi there speaking at Google offices. You heard her say that a Congress dominated by even more Democrats will actually be more bipartisan. Let's find out what Ohio Democrat Dennis Kucinich thinks about that and the prospects of an overwhelming three-way Democratic victory next Tuesday. Welcome to Happy Hour, Congressman.
Hi.
Okay, so are you as excited or not excited about the rest of the guys here about a potential democratically controlled White House and Congress?
Well, we can't take our eyes off the ball here. We have to focus on helping people save their homes, their jobs, their retirement security, their pensions. You know, there's time for celebration after the votes are counting, but I just wouldn't want to count them that early.
Dennis, I want you to elaborate. You know, you actually are very active in the monetary policies. You voted against the TARP bailout package twice. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. And I want you to talk a little bit. I joke with Eric sometimes, and yesterday with Howard Lutnick from Cantor Fitzgerald about the Illuminati and the power that the printing press really does have when the government controls the money supply. Can you talk a little bit about your thoughts on that and where we're headed?
Well, you know, we ought to be really concerned about a bank takeover of the country because we borrowed money from the banks to give to the banks. The banks give us toxic assets or hoard the money, or they use it to buy other banks. I don't think the founders envisioned government of the banks, for the banks, and by the banks. So we need to get more control over our financial system, and the taxpayers are footing the bill for all this. This is what makes it so wrong.
Representative, it's Eric here. Quick question. We saw that sound bite from Nancy Pelosi saying that a complete sweep of the House, both sides of Congress, and also the presidency as a Democratic victory would be more bipartisan. How in the world, where is she coming up with that? Explain to me how that becomes more bipartisan, number one. And by the way, I find it very interesting that she made that speech at Google headquarters. But go ahead, tell me how that becomes bipartisan.
Well, I think right now you could just Google Democratic control of Congress, bipartisan, and see how many hits you get.
Just explain to me. You have if you had a Democrat across the board and you know, control Congress, control the Senate, a majority, not only a majority, maybe a supermajority, and then
sounds unipartisan.
The president. Where is that? Talk to me about it.
Well, I think that we're going to need united government in order to have broad changes in the American economy. I mean, think about it. We've got millions of people out of work, millions of people in danger of losing their homes, people worried about their investments, their pensions. We need some unified approach to dealing with it. If the people give Democrats that control, we're going to have to deliver.
And, you know, Cody had touched on something that, you know, you're very instrumental in this whole bailout process as far as being the watchdog, you know, one of the few there on Capitol Hill who are saying, hey, we need some checks and balances. We need to make sure, I read your letter, and we need to make sure that this money that we taxpayers are providing to bail out or rescue the banks doesn't go to executive compensation and doesn't go to multi-million-dollar salaries for these CEOs who basically failed out their jobs. How is that effort going?
Well, Chairman Waxman of Government Oversight responded very positively to a letter I sent to him asking him to get the committee involved in it. He sent letters out to all the 9 banks saying he wants information on bailout bonuses, on executive compensation packages. This just happened this afternoon. It's a positive development. Look, I voted against the bailout. We owe it to the taxpayers to make sure that money's not being used to help feather the nest of people who may have made the wrong decisions that have created the problems in our economy to begin with.
But, you know, Congressman, I mean, that's happening anyway, whether they're paying it out in executive compensation. They are, for example, Bank of America is going to send out $6 billion in dividends to their shareholders this year. I think you guys need to say no dividends whatsoever if you take capital from my taxes.
Well, what I'm saying right now is that why are these firms, and Mr. Waxman says this, why aren't they using the money to shore up their capital position instead of giving it away? I mean, if they're really in trouble, why do they want to bail out? And if they're really in trouble, why are they giving money away in bonuses?
Exactly. Why would they pay out Why would they pay out money in dividends if they're in trouble?
They have to pay the government first.
Greg, I feel a lot better about that.
It's a point.
Supposedly, the $6 billion
Go ahead,
was going to the system.
Go ahead. Finish your thought there.
I don't want to get involved in this crosstalk. Go ahead. So what I'm saying is that Mr. Waxman, who's the chairman of the Investigative Committee of Congress, is now moving towards gathering information. He told the banks they have till November the 10th to respond to his questionnaire. And I think that we need to show the American taxpayers that we're watching their money. I voted against the bailout, but when that bailout money's there, we got to make sure it's not being used for bonuses and other executive compensation packages.
Amen.
And to dividends for shareholders, too. Thank you so much, Congressman, for joining us. Come back next time you're in the city, please.
Thank you.